aim to the for the first title in the Serie A in a very long time. I think so. Let's see what happens with Atalanta. Today we are going to be talking about Lookman. That Lookman's goal, he did well in that game. Welcome guys, welcome to Vote Sports on Vote 104.3 FM. Today we are going to be diving into the Premier League. The Premier League is happening today, and even in La Liga, as games are happening everywhere. There is a Merseyside derby in the Premier League. That means Everton is going to be playing Liverpool today in the first game of the week. Who will win that game? We will find out. My guys will give us their prediction on what they think that will happen in that game. Good morning once more. Good morning, John. How are you? How was your night?
Oh, fine, thank you. All around. It's another wonderful weekend of football, and I'm buzzing to get ready.
Good morning, Nonso. How are you?
Well, good morning. Interesting weekend of football. Great games all around. Well, let's get ready. Let's dive into it.
Okay, let's dive into it. Remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. We are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. And you can also follow us on other social media handles. On Facebook is Vote FM Sports. When you go on Facebook and type Vote FM Sports, then on TikTok is Vote FM.sports. On Twitter or X is Vote FM Sports, and on Instagram is Vote FM Sports. You can follow us everywhere. We are everywhere now. You can follow us, join the conversation with us, drop your comments whenever you see our posts, especially here on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. Okay, guys, let's start with the Premier League because the Premier League the games are happening today, and I'll give you the fixtures, especially the Merseyside derby, but I'll give you the fixtures for today. Then we'll talk about some of them, especially the big boys that are playing today and tomorrow. For the EPL, the EPL fixtures today is Everton versus Liverpool. That's first game for today. That's 1:30. Today is going to be a whole. When it comes to Everton and Liverpool, it's like Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur.
Sure.
It's like a derby that is always everybody's fighting. So that game's happening today. Will Liverpool drop points again? Everybody is praying for them to drop points, especially Arsenal and Chelsea and Man City fans. We are praying they drop more points so that the Premier League the fight will be awesome. Okay, other fixtures are happening in Premier League today is Brentford versus Newcastle, Aston Villa versus Southampton. Crystal Palace will take on Manchester City. Will City continue their winning run? Let's see if they will continue or they'll start losing points again. The final game for today is Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. For tomorrow is Fulham versus Arsenal, Leicester City versus Brighton, Ipswich Town versus Bournemouth, and the big one for tomorrow is Tottenham Spurs versus Chelsea. That game is happening tomorrow. Then on Monday is West Ham versus Wolves. This is two teams also like supporting. Yeah, playing on Monday, but let's start for today's game. Today's game is Everton. The first game, Everton versus Liverpool, is the first game for today, and it's a Merseyside derby. If you look at the last game, Everton won that game. I think 4-0 in their last game, so they did actually well. Liverpool dropped points against Newcastle. Now they are going to away. Liverpool is going away, and Slot want to go back to winning ways. They almost won that game against Liverpool, apart from their goalkeeper error, and Alisson is almost back. But in this game, Everton will have to fight for their life. They need to. I think it's been a very long time they won, especially at home against Liverpool. Since the club have been getting almost points when they play their derby. But today is another different Liverpool and a different Everton altogether. What do you think will happen in that game, John?
Yeah, if there's anybody that can take more points off Liverpool, it has to be Everton because of the Merseyside derby. It's a do or die derby game. This is a game you go in and you forget about where the club's positions are on the Premier League table, even though Everton sits 15th and Liverpool are at the summit. For 90 minutes in the whole Merseyside, there's no talk about the table. There's only talk about this heated spat between Everton and Liverpool, where one side needs to get something over the other side, to kind of maybe seal the season, seal the the emotions with the fans, seal the bragging rights for the teams. You could be having a terrible season, maybe fighting relegation like Everton did at certain point last season before they survived, and you could come into this game and all those things go out the window. Is the basic thing, the basic format of we must win Liverpool, and that's it. For some of these clubs who do not have the backing to go on to compete in the top part of the Premier League table, games like these are like World Cup finals to them, and they'll be looking out to get maximum points against Liverpool. And then secondly, this is also a game that Liverpool cannot afford to lose.
Yes, they need
It's
to
a
win
game
it.
they need to seal all maximum points in this game. So nobody is going to be sitting back conserving today. I think we're going to be seeing some free flowing attacking football from both ends.
The same Liverpool will turn up anyhow you see it. Whether free flowing attacking football, conserving football, they will play their conservative football to do their bit to get the win because that's what they needed to. I think against Newcastle in the midweek, you saw the way they played. I think they went down and they came back to fight for a comeback. We almost thought they did a comeback against Newcastle and they went on to play that game. I think 3-3 draw. Now you could look at what Liverpool did in that game. You could look at like they lacked the intensity. But in this game, going to this game, there's going to be more. It's a message that we always said. I always said is that why your academy graduates when club was there? I say why your academy graduates go form club, come they beat you, come be like your guy, come win more Premier League titles than even you be the senior man. Just like a school, and you have another offspring from that school, open a school, and it's not better than the original school. So it's just what I see in the Evertonian side. They were the original team in that side, but Liverpool was like a breakaway team from them, and now Liverpool is more of like a king in England and one of the best teams in Europe. If you look at the way they play in recent years, and they've won, I think one of the biggest teams in England have won the most Champions League. So I look at Liverpool as they've gone beyond that. This thing is just what they want to do is if we can, what Everton needs to do is if we can just take away points from Liverpool. But the story has changed from if we can just take away points from Liverpool. Now it's about we want to go there and we want to win so we can get our hands on the trophy.
Okay, that game is happening by 1:30 today. Let's see what slot is going to be cooking for us because he needs to win because everybody is now behind him looking. Especially Manchester City is more eye looking. It's getting to that period, that ending December and early January and February where City used to pick form.
That man to used to fall.
Yes, that's the anointing used to fall on them, and they start behaving like somebody that is possessed by the spirit. This around this period, early December, January, February.
You see that is about the FC. Win your game, make another person win it.
The point is that they have done it consecutively.
But that's the thing.
That's the truth. So you can actually predict it. At some point, Aston was 7 points ahead of them, and the Aston was playing good football, and everybody was okay. Okay, it might, but somehow City started their run again, and it happened with Liverpool. That was when Liverpool finished with almost 90-something points.
The Gerrard sleep.
Apart from that one, we're not talking about the particular point they finished 97 points.
Yeah.
They were already second. They were chasing after the first position.
Actually, at some point they were leading. That's the point that there's a particular point in the time City can pick up form and win about 12 games in a row around this period. So we are expecting to happen again. But let's see if Liverpool will keep up with Manchester City and Arsenal and Chelsea. Okay, let's move. Okay, let's get a prediction for that game. Everton and Liverpool.
I'm going to back Liverpool for a win.
Coming off the back of a win now, I think Everton will score a couple of goals, but it's going to be it's going to be a narrow win for Liverpool.
A narrow win for Liverpool.
Coming from what's it called, St. James Park to this place now, it's just going to be a win for Liverpool.
Okay, let's get a prediction for other games. Brentford is playing Newcastle. Newcastle got a point from that game against Liverpool. What do you think will happen in that game? What is your prediction for that game?
I'm seeing Brentford win this one.
Against Newcastle? Definitely. I don't think so.
It's not about you getting a point against Liverpool. Can you match? Because you build on performance, and we've seen Newcastle build on performance, but in recent years, Newcastle build on performance. They are now the inconsistent team in that part of the world where they win these matches, they play against big teams, and they are dragging points with big teams, and they play against small teams, and they share those points. You get it? We call them the shareful givers. Now, Newcastle is one of those shareful givers in this season, and I'm seeing them not going to Brentford to get the result.
Okay, I get preparation for that game.
Newcastle win.
Okay, Brentford and okay, everybody has their own. Okay, another game happening today is Aston Villa versus Southampton. Southampton are relegation candidates. They sit last on the table and with only 5 points. So I think they are going down, but they are going away again to Aston Villa. What do you think will happen in that game? Your predictions?
It's going to be a blowout. Aston Villa with the win. Like for me, I just pity Aston Villa. I just pity Southampton because I don't know. They are just going to just.
Now your guy the pity maybe Southampton. Now your guy.
Sometimes
talk truth. Now your guy.
Well, okay. Aston Villa to win, and also
Aston Villa to win.
Okay, let's talk about the Crystal Palace and the Manchester City. Manchester City won their last game. After almost 7 games in the Premier League or 6 games in the Premier League without a win, they won their last game. Now they are going away to Crystal Palace. The Crystal Palace are sometimes they are strong, sometimes they are not. Sometimes they play well, sometimes you don't even know the Crystal Palace you are going to be facing. But if you look at injuries are still bothering Pep Guardiola. If you look at his press conference, Stone is still out, so a couple of players are still out, but they just need to win. Whether they are, or even if his first 11 is out, they just need to win that game against Crystal Palace.
There are 7 players out for City right now. If you look at the 7 players, about 6 of them are key players for the side, and that not stated. I hope this
That
doesn't play
not
out.
stated. So come on, jury, remove that from your. Then continue with your case.
Okay, that's stated.
That not stated, jury, minus that statement from the case study.
That stated. I think they should have what it takes to win this game, depending on who Pep Guardiola starts, because this is where I'm going to have a bone to pick with him now. Depending on who he starts, and then the way they play. But looking at Crystal Palace, you have to look at the likes of Ebere Chieze, the likes of Mateta, the likes of a couple of players in that setup that are very pacey and that can cause harm. And I'll be worried about them. But depending on who starts, we are confident to win.
Okay, now so what do you think will happen in that game?
But coming out of a win from what's called Ipswich Town, and not allowing Ipswich Town score a goal, that's keeping a clean sheet against Ipswich Town, it sends a message. It sends a message that we're getting there defensively, and we're going to build on it and perhaps improve offensively. Getting that goal was wonderful. If you see the game between them and Ipswich Town in the midweek, but coming against Man City now, who has been the team tinkering with tactics. I don't have a problem with the front. See, one thing people don't understand is there was a time we used to say Man City front line or Man City full team can bench any second 11, not even the first team. The second team can bench any team in the Premier League. Now, gone are those days. Now it's just the front line that can bench. The front line, they have quality players in the front line, but in the middle and the defense is where I have a problem. They don't have quality players to replace certain positions in defense. If Ake is not available, Guardiola can play left back. Fine, he can play left back, but he's not good enough because you've seen players exploit him. I tried back. If Kyle Walker is not available, Rico Lewis can play in that position. But yet you can see players exploit him because of his lack of experience. Yeah, and in the center half as well, you have other players. So if some players are not there, if Diaz is not there, you see them concede careless goals. If John Stones starts, he's always carried away with the ball. He's always carried away by chasing the ball, and you see him in the positions half, far deep in the positions half, as an attacking midfielder. And that's why at some point in last season's game, Pep had to convert him to a defensive midfielder so he can go forward and roam around while other defenders sit and perhaps protect the goal line. So I feel like it's about who Pep starts. It's about who is going to deliver for Pep in this game. It's about just not the attack, but the midfield, if they can create enough chance for the attack to bury them.
Okay,
and if they can hold more of the ball. Because in recent days we've seen them lose the ball in critical areas. You don't have to lose the balls in critical. When you play a Bernardo Silva and Ika Gundogan in defensive midfield, and they lose the ball there's nobody that is going to recover that ball for them.
Okay, let's see what happens with Manchester City and Crystal Palace. That game is happening today. Pep has been talking to the press. Part of the thing he was talking to the press about, it was Jose Mourinho. He made that joke about he winning the 6 titles with City, and Jose has 3. So Jose replied him that he won 3 clear, but he has a charge against him. But Pep has replied him, telling him it was just a joke. But he kept insisting that he still have 3, I have 6. So I think when it comes to Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola, they go way back with their Clasico when they were in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And when Jose was at Real Madrid, and he was also talking about people questioning him. He said, I remember how many people said he only wins in Barcelona because he had Lionel Messi in that team. And what other things they are talking that they had the best team, that he do it in England, that he came to England, that he has done it in England, so he has nothing to prove to anybody. But I think he's right. He has earned the bargain right to do anything he wants. Now, I think even if he decides to leave City now, all the big clubs in Europe will still find him. Everybody knows what he can do. But let's see what Pep and City will do if they will start their winning runs again and fight for the Premier League. Okay, let's move on to the next game. I know most people are waiting for this one. It's Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. Amorim ball is keep talking about Amorim's ball. I don't know. We don't even know who is going to start today. he's just shocking us everywhere. Each game has its own different, especially when it comes to striking position. Okay, even though Martinez is back from his suspension, so probably he's going to be playing. But who do you think will be starting as a striking option in this game?
For me, I think a lot of moving pieces with Manchester United right now. There was an interview of Amorim in my court where he says that there are certain players that are on limited time because you don't want to risk the chance of them picking up a knock or getting injured. And then apart from those certain players, every other player on the team sheet is being moved around to give them their dress rehearsal before he finally makes his decision on who he's working with. And I think it's fair, having that conversation with the players, getting their buy-in, and then executing it on the pitch. Because other than that, we would have a different situation at Manchester United where somebody is grumpy on the bench, even though he scored 2 goals in his game under Amorim. So coming into this game against Nottingham Forest, he said that against Arsenal they were looking to contain, they were looking to conserve because they are not yet at the same attacking level as Arsenal. And I think that's wise thing to do. But against Nottingham Forest, I think Manchester United being at home as well too should be looking more attacking. And I think if that's the way it's going to go, it's going to be Ezekiel Rashford up forward and then maybe the other creative people behind them in midfield.
Okay, now so if you look at the way he set up against Arsenal, you could see that he actually looking to probably get a draw from that game, or probably you defend, and if you are lucky enough, you get score a goal and probably get a 3 points or 1 point. But against Nottingham Forest, he just needs to attack.
Against Arsenal, what we saw was different from what we have seen in other games. So what we saw against Arsenal was a team that conserved, a team that wasn't too attacking. They went on the attack, they went on the offensive, but they didn't really stay there. It was just that effort of go forward and sprint back. It was effort. Let's see if we can improve on our effort in sprinting backwards when we lose the ball. I think that was what he did against Arsenal. But against a Nottingham Forest side, you won't be starting four defenders.
5 actually.
No, 4 defenders because the right wing back is an attacker. So
Against Arsenal, he started 5.
He started 5.
He started 5.
Martinez, Dalot. Okay, yeah, that's 5, and the rest of them can go for. But in this game against Nottingham Forest, definitely we'll see a Mano Ugati start in midfield alongside Bruno Fernandes. But Bruno Fernandes will not be given the job of creating or perhaps defending alongside Mano. He has to be in front because it's going to be a front three of Bruno, Rashford, and Højlund. These are the front 3 you have to pick in this game. Then in your right wing back, you have an Amad Diallo coming in back to his starting lineup. So you can pressure the offensive, you can play on the offensive as well as play on the defensive as well. So I think in this game is going to be more of the offensive and more of the midfield game than the defensive and midfield game.
Okay, let's talk about Nuno a little bit. He started the season well, but he has been shaking a little bit in the last 5 games. And do you think he can get anything away from these games? Because going at Old Trafford is always tough for any coach.
Yeah, going at Old Trafford is always tough, but then this is Manchester United, and until they start shaking their reputation, teams are going to go there feeling they can win. And I think Nuno will not go there shivering or shaking. This manager is roughly new, and Nuno will be up for the challenge. The bottom line is, if you look at the way Nuno sets his team out to play, there are a lot of players in that side that can cause you problems, and a lot of upside for the team. So for me, I would think that Nuno would watch the game, and as the game is unfolding, he'll be able to make those changes where he should to switch the team to more attacking. Let's not forget, if you look at the bench, they have a couple good players, wingers that can come in and put Manchester United in a good scare. So I would think that they have what it takes to go to this game, conserve, and then hit them on the break.
Okay, let's see what happens in that. Amorim's game.
It's 3 points between them.
Yes, it's 3 points between them.
A win for Man United will send them up to 7th. And it's one of those things. In that same interview you were saying the other day, a question was asked that what after all the performance you still remain 7th or perhaps 14th or 13th on the table, and he said you put in the effort, but the result comes gradually. It doesn't come at once. You don't expect a huge result for the effort you put in. So I think for Amorim, for this game now, Amorim is looking at getting the 3 points and conserving and making sure he gets the process gradually and perhaps getting to the top 4. So Amorim is targeting the top 6, perhaps. Nuno is targeting the top 6 as well. So it's up to these coaches. I believe Nuno can get to the top 8 or top 6 and get to the contention.
And results other way going in their favor, and they could be as up as maybe 10th, 9th,
Okay, let's
depending
see.
on other fixtures.
Let's see what happens today. Let's get your prediction for that game. Manchester United and Nottingham Forest.
I'm sticking with Man United for this one. I'm sticking with Man United. Don't you John want to?
Nottingham Forest win.
Okay, let's see what happens to that game. That game. Okay, that's only game for all the games for Saturday. On Sunday, we have Fulham versus Arsenal. Fulham has been done well, but Arsenal are in 100% mood now.
Their battery don't charge.
They don't charge 100% now, so they trash everybody. They go winning that game against Manchester United. Will give them a whole boost after trashing West Ham. They won against. They won against Manchester United, which was very huge for their confidence. Now they are going to travel to Fulham to play at least semi-Arsenal team because they have Nelson, they have Iwobi, they have Smith-Rowe. That's former Arsenal players. So what do you think will happen in that game? Arsenal to win again, or these old Arsenal players to hurt them?
In some other climb, it would be Arsenal going to play the team everybody shops from. Okay, because I remember Manchester United shot Babatov and Van der Sar from Fulham, a couple of them, and now Fulham are now paying back the favor, shopping some good talent off these big teams into their side. And look at the results they've had, look at the run they've been on this season. A couple of good results, good shockers here and there, but Arsenal coming to Craven Cottage is going to be a nice adventure because I think Marco Silva will be jumping at the bit to crack on at Arsenal and see test the metal of his team.
Iwobi is in form. Will I say he's in form because he scored 2 goals in
He's
the
in
final
form.
game. So
He's
do you
in-
think that he
he's
can
in
score
form.
again?
I think he's had more goal contributions than any other Fulham player. 6 goals in this season so far. He's in form. He's in top form. He's in the form of his life this season. And when somebody is in top form of his life, defenders are wary of that person. They're looking at on how to keep track of that person. And perhaps we're forgetting the disguised runs from Smith-Rowe and the Reece Nelson. That's the disguised runs that kept him on the goal. I think in the last game. So he will be coming to this game now, or Fulham coming to this game now. They have a way or 2 ways of hurting Arsenal. They know who Arsenal's strong strengths are. But the thing is, how can they break down the defense? Because you can close down the attack by holding down Odegaard, and perhaps Asaka would be bereft of service, and Martinelli will be bereft of service. Then you can, once you hold down Odegaard, then how can you break down the defense? How can you break down the Saliba Gabriel or the Kiwo Gabriel Saliba, whatever? How can you break down the defense that Arsenal puts up today? Okay, that's where the question is going to be for Fulham. It's not about who they can manage to keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. I don't have a problem with the clean sheet. If you hold on attacking player, then Arsenal have to depend on set pieces or corner kicks to get a goal off Fulham. But if you go on the offensive, how can you break down the Arsenal's defense?
For me, it's not Fulham breaking down the Arsenal defense or maybe tying down Odegaard. The question is going to be, how are they going to keep hold of Saka? Because let's not forget that while Odegaard is in engine room, Saka is the face of the club. He's the one who is bringing in the meat right now. He's the one who's scoring the goals, creating chances, and bringing a couple players on. So I think you can mark Odegaard out of the game, but you give the ball to Saka. It could be a long ball. It could be him picking it off a defender or off a midfielder. Once he makes that run and he breaks into the 18, his mother she wrote all over again. They can't stop Saka from scoring. And for all we talk about Odegaard, for me, if they are able to quell him on that game, they give themselves the better opportunity. But the question is, this is an Arsenal side that is super, super young, super, super energetic, pacey, and have what it takes to switch on a dime upon you. And how are you going to do that?
Same with Fulham.
I disagree. I disagree.
I've never given.
What's the median age at Fulham is 28. I'll be 27 right now.
The median age is 25 points.
No,
25
it's not.
points something.
It's not. Go
You're
look at
looking at the
it.
defenders. They have what's it called? The players, the attackers are less than 25. You get the midfield. You have one of 28. You have one of 36. You have another person of 24. So an average of the team is 25 points.
Nope.
You get now for you can talk about the youth in Arsenal side. You talk about the youth as well in Fulham side. You say at what's it called now? You talk about the Saka effect. We keep saying this when the Saka was not around. When Saka was around? What was Arsenal play like when Odegaard was not around? When Saka was not available, what was Arsenal play like? The attack was blunt. You get these two players we know can
The attack was blunt, but was Saka scoring? Yes or no?
When Saka is available, he scores.
He was scoring.
Yet.
So the question is, they do not have a formula to fix the puzzle of Saka. They do not have the men in midfield now that are going to hold Odegaard, because Odegaard is as slippery as they come. And for me, the hardest task is going to be how they are going to accelerate the ball into Arsenal's 18. That's going to be the hardest task.
Like I said, it's hard to break down the Arsenal's defense. That's their problem. If it's defending their own beat, they can sit deep and defend all they want. But if they go on the offensive, how do they break down the Arsenal defense? That's what I said. And if you talk about the players that you would have to hold on to get that result, I think it's Odegaard, because he's not a system player. He's just the system.
Okay, let's see what happens in that game. Ateta was talking to the press conference, and they were actually comparing with Stoke. So he said that I think it's a good compliment, because Stoke were good in the set pieces and the corner kicks. So, and he said that they call you the king of corners now. He said he wants to be the king of everything, the king of corners, the king of goals, king of defenders. They want to be best in everything. So let's see what happens in that game. It's Fulham versus Arsenal tomorrow by 3 p.m. So let's see if Arsenal is going to get that 3 points, because they need to win game. In fact, they need to be winning all their games to charge for this Premier League, because Liverpool are somewhere above them.
Bring on the dark arts.
The corner kick will happen. If they don't score, they will start loading that ball. Somebody will score. Arsenal has an average of 6 feet players in that team, so everybody is practically tall there. So let's see. Okay, let's move over to the your prediction for that game. Arsenal and Fulham.
Arsenal win, no doubt.
Arsenal win.
Scoreline. Put you on the spot. Scoreline, John.
3-0.
3-0.
Yeah.
If Arsenal is going to win that one, it's 2-1. But I'm seeing a 2-2 draw, 1-1 draw.
Okay, let's see what happens in that game. Okay, Leicester City is facing Brighton. Van Nistelrooy is going to take it on his second game, and he's going to be against Brighton. Let's get your prediction for that game. Van Nistelrooy to win again.
Brighton lost their last game. They'll be looking to get a result in this one. They lost their last game, and now they are fifth on the table. They're behind Man City, and I think they'll have to win this one to get a result back.
I think this is not going to be a walk in the park for Leicester City, because let's just call it as it is. Leicester City pari passu with Brighton right now. They are -3 handicap. So it's going to be Brighton who fumbles this one for Leicester to get anything out of this game.
The thing is that if Van Nistelrooy wins this game, and Man U might be somewhere, Man U fans will be somewhere about eyeing him and say, oh, this guy won about 3 or 4 games.
You're talking about the what if question, right?
Yes, I think so, because it's a big if. Because if you look at the games he coached, they actually did well in those 3, and they scored much.
There was a stat. There was a stat
that
came out. The stats came out. They said Van Nistelrooy, as a Premier League manager, has coached 5 games. I think, including the one at Leicester City. Interim manager, 4 games. He said an average of 15 goals scored under him as a manager in the Premier League. An average of 15 goals scored, and no lose. So he has a perfect record so far. I think he has a record of maybe about 2 point something, 2.6. He's won 4 games and played 1 draw. I think that was for Man United, where he won 3 games and played 1 draw. Now for Leicester, he's won his first game in charge, scoring I think 3 goals or 4 or so. Now they're looking at him as one of those managers who has the attacking, who knows how to unlock an attacking or an offensive team, and perhaps knows how to defend. And I think his experience in defenses went with him when he went all the way to what's it called now, Espanyol from Real Madrid. And he said he played, according to him, he said he played in the defensive team, and he helped him improve his defensive ability and a way to coach defensively. And also offensively, as a striker, you know how to score goals. You teach your team how to have great chance and score goals. But as a player who played in the defensive team after I left Real Madrid, I learned how to play a defensive team.
We can have this conversation after he has managed 500 games.
My own is that anybody can talk all these things.
They can talk on.
Some of these coaches still they played in defensive, offensive. If you know good, you know good. Because
you know good.
The truth is that
I'm just saying, I'm not talking about the style of play of a coach.
We are not talking about style of play.
Where you play like affects what you feel.
We are not talking about style of play.
I can go on to give you all the great coaches and their positions as a team, as a player.
We are not talking about style of play. We are talking about overhype of these 5 games. Is that Baba, let's have this conversation when he has 1,000 games under his belt,
In
and
the
let's
Premier
look
League.
at
I
his
think
win
the
and
problem,
let's look at his win rate.
the truth is
Then
that
we can have this
the truth is
conversation.
that you cannot, whether if he stays with Leicester City, he can never have that high percent of win rate because
Mm-hmm.
Leicester is just a small club. If he's coaching Manchester United,
Or
then I
Man
think it's
City,
almost is
or
possible.
Liverpool,
But
or
if he
Arsenal.
does well, the thing about it is if he does well with this Leicester City, one of these big clubs will sack their coach. Do he become a candidate for that position? That's how he was. If you do
One
well
of the
with
big clubs like
yeah,
Ipswich Town.
or even Tottenham Hotspur, they can sack their coach, or even Arsenal can bring him in, depending if Arteta does not. Yes, if Arteta doesn't, everybody will say if Arteta doesn't win this year, or probably next year, he should go. He has tried his best, but let's see what happens with that game. Let's get your prediction for that game. Leicester and Brighton.
Brighton win 2-1.
Brighton win 2-1 also.
King Power Stadium, 1-1 draw.
Okay,
Or 2-2 draw.
Bournemouth are flying. They are flying in this league. They won their last game again against Spurs. Now they are going away to Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town is a relegation candidate too. But in that game, let's get your prediction for that game before we move over to the Chelsea game.
I think Ipswich need a win desperately, so it's going to be win or draw Ipswich.
Okay,
Ipswich at home is going to be a win.
it's going to be okay. Let's move over to the big one on Sunday. Is Tottenham Hotspur versus Chelsea. Maresca has been talking to the press conference. Sports coach has been talking to press. The guy doesn't even know what is wrong with him. His sports team has, I don't know. He started the season well. Somehow, even at some point they won the city, and everybody was saying, okay, these people are here this season to challenge because Angie said that he wins something in second season. So we are thinking probably he's going to be challenging for the league, but there is something wrong with Spurs. If as a team, there is something spiritual wrong with them. They win games you don't expect, and they lose games you don't expect. So, but in this end, they are playing the high flying Chelsea. Chelsea are a team that is doing well. They sit second on the table. Have I think 3+3 goals. That's why they are above Arsenal.
Yep.
But if you look at that game, these two teams need all the 3 points. Spurs losing against Bournemouth in their last game is a bad result for them.
True that.
Then Chelsea have been flying, but Spurs is playing at home. They need all the 3 points. But do you think that Maresca can cook up? Maresca keep insisting that they are not in the title challenge. That it is still Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. They are way above them when it comes to title challenge. But the table is lying. It's lying because if you look at the table, it's absolutely lying. But do you think that if they win this one, we should give them title challengers against Liverpool?
I think what we have when we look at Chelsea is a question of it's either going to be prophecy fulfilled, or you rather be happily wrong. So prophecy fulfilled in the sense that they don't win the title, they don't finish in the top 3, they finish somewhere in the top 4. That would be prophecy fulfilled. Being delightfully wrong is that you win the title and you're happy that you said you weren't going to win, because in retrospect it worked out that you won the title. So I think Maresca has worked himself into a perfect position where any way it goes out is a winner. You understand me? Because one, for a manager, when you can predictably state where you are going to and build the team to take you there without having some of the basic things you need to do, because let's not walk away from the fact that Maresca still does not have his team at Chelsea yet, because a lot of the signings that came in this summer, most of them were not his choices, and then a lot of the players that are still at the club need to go. So it's just him balancing and working they call it a perfect storm. So but going into this game now, winning against Tottenham is a must. Because there is no better time to get those 3 points off Tottenham than right now, because Tottenham are in total disarray. If you look at what they've been doing press conference, when you have a club in crisis is when you have statements from players being taken up in court against one another, and that's not nice to see. You have the racial slur by Bentancur that has been in the court of arbitration. You have how those two players are going to see each other every day on the pitch and are going to work together. You have a lot of other things moving on in the mix, throwing on the mix that and what's his name now, Ange is talking about winning things in the second season, marrying that with the run of games they've had and the type of games they've lost. So right now the battle at Tottenham is a mind game and trust game between players. For Chelsea, he has his working team. It's just them being able to turn up on the moment. And we've seen that in the last 3 games they've been consistently turning up.
Okay, what do you think now? So, what do you think will happen in that game? Because Maresca is talking about Palmer. Palmer is saying that they, in the beginning of the season, he said that they don't want to rely on Palmer 100%, and he's working. Everybody is now scoring, and Enzo is creating goals. Caicedo is now doing his defensive midfield work very well, and Enzo can push forward and create goals and score goals. He was talking about even Modric. The agents were even saying that even if Modric leaves Chelsea today, that there are a lot of clubs will come for him.
That's what agents do.
Nah,
We expect agents to say any other
hyping
thing.
him.
So normally if he come
You
out
want me,
there
you
now,
know, hype him,
no,
no
no, no,
tickets, they
no.
want me.
See, minus listen, if Madrid come out for Chelsea now, clubs will go find am plenty.
West Ham.
From
No,
Saudi
no,
Arabia.
no.
They want
Maybe
me.
Arsenal will find am again.
Arsenal will not find him again.
Because
Okay,
of
but
the-
that game, what do you think will happen in that game?
See, I'm looking at the injury list at Tottenham Hotspur now. We can, like John said, he submitted the case to the jury, injuries and all of that in Man City. We're also looking at Tottenham Hotspur injury list. Van der Ven might not be available. Richarlison has not been available for the longer part of, I don't know the last time I saw him play 90 minutes for Tottenham Hotspur. Vicaro, the goalkeeper, is not available, might not be available. Romero is the key defenders. Then Ben Davies. These are Bentancur now, his court case and his suspension. These are key players for Tottenham Hotspur. These are players that start. The Romero, the Bentancur, the Van der Ven, and maybe a Ben Davies. These are players that start week in, week out, but they've not been starting in recent days, and you see them drop points. And with the players that are coming to replace them, they go on to beat big teams. I don't know how they do it, but now this is another test for them. I know we will not win trophy this year. This is what is. I think this is what is playing in their head. We will not win trophy this year, but anybody that wants to win trophy will collect. You get? Anybody that is aiming to win trophy, Man City or Liverpool, anybody, Arsenal, anybody that's been aiming to win trophy will
Arsenal
collect.
won.
Yeah, Arsenal won at corner FC won. Now Chelsea will not get that luxury of let's play safe again, because they will come at Chelsea. They will do like what happened. I think last season it was a 4-4 draw where they were about to win, and all the Chelsea came out.
Yes.
So they did this magic.
Yeah.
And they played the 4-4. That was the last game we saw against these two sides. This game it will be different. They will definitely win against Chelsea. They will play their lives out. That's one thing I know about them, and they will try their best, because Chelsea is one of those teams that is try to get a shot at the title. So Chelsea go collect.
Okay, that game is happening at 5:30 tomorrow. So let's see what Spurs and Chelsea is going to be doing. It's going to be a very, very, very big game. Okay, let's move over to our YouTube channel and read one or two comments before we go to our phone lines. Okay, Emmanuel Leo, welcome to the show. He said, good morning, guys. What really made Leke Levis to sack Jose a week before a cup final? Conte came and he was sacked because of the same players. Nuno, the same thing now. And Angie will be soon lose his choice. Boys are faking injuries. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. There's something fundamentally
Yes.
wrong with sports, because how can you have a Conte, Jose Mourinho, Nuno?
Jose Mourinho own ancestral cause.
I don't understand how you can have all this coach and you cannot even have a
because Carabao Cup final was already set.
Allow him to finish.
Allow him finish the season, and you sacked him, and you went on to lose that final. That's Jose Mourinho, and Conte came in. I think the players, the kind of style of play, because you told Conte that you would support him to do business, and I think what Conte learned at Tottenham Hotspur, where he plays his three at the back without a wing back, was what he's doing. What he's doing currently at Napoli right now, where he's playing the three at the back without a wing back to support the system, because there's no way you play three at the back and you don't have at least one wing back to support that system. And I think that's what he's doing at Napoli right now, and it's working. He also tells you that the Premier League is another ball game, is another different, how will I call it now? It's another different entity, it's a planet of its own. But Tottenham Hotspur, I think Daniel Levy should at least look at the Newcastle side. Newcastle is winning matches now, competing for top 4, go Champions League this year. Next year they are fighting relegation. Next year they come to Champions League. If he can at least sell the club, if he doesn't have the money to invest in the club anymore, sell off the club. I think that's what happened to Chelsea. Nobody knew, apart from the time that Nigerians knew that Nigerians, whenever they travel to London, they join a team like Chelsea and all of that. Nobody actually knew the history of Chelsea until Abramovich took over. And he spent whatever he spent and brought
them trophy. 70 million to buy the club, over 200 or 300 to buy players.
Anywhere you look around the Nigerian corners or the corners of Nigeria, you see Chelsea fans here and there because of the players they brought in, the Mikel Obis, the Celestine Abayaros, and all of those legends that played for the London club. So I believe It's a matter of if I can't invest anymore, I sell off the club and get another investor to
But
come
then
and
look at it now. Danny Levy is a perfect reflection of the right man for that club, because when you look at the sentimentalities of the people in that part of London, you look at what they did last season when they were willing to lose a game to stop their opponent from going forward. And then you look at Danny Levy's antics too. Sacking a manager a week before you win your first trophy in a long time. Two, not backing the right manager when you got him in with the players you wanted. And it's crazy. How do you bring people in and give them a role to do, and then give them you don't not give them what they need to succeed in the role, and then you judge them for your own lapses? For me, I think it's
Okay,
counterproductive.
okay, let's see what happens with that game. Spurs
no,
is
may I
playing
say
Chelsea. Spurs is playing Chelsea tomorrow. Let's see if Spurs will do something and win, or Chelsea will continue their winning run. Okay, let's see one more comment before we start taking phone calls. Okay, Emmanuel Lewis say Conte in an interview before he was sad called out the players because of the mentality wasn't there.
Very
They
true.
just want to come to training where come to training wear headphones and earrings, big wages, no
that was
winning
really Ayu's and the
mindset.
rest of them now.
Yes.
Okay, let's see Sports, they are in big trouble now with Angie too, so let's see if can come out from that problem. Okay, now let's open the phone line for you to get all the prediction for today's before we move on to Lookman. The number to call is 0706 048 5853. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, name and location please.
This is Large Heart, the Arsenal man.
Okay, what is your contribution?
You know, in football, and let me just say generally, the world of sport, it's not just watching sport, it's learning from sport. There are lessons we can learn from sport. You see, there is nothing in this life that one does that people wouldn't criticize. Today they are branding Arsenal corner FC. I remember the time of Arsene Wenger when Arsenal would play 20 corners and not score a goal. And each time Arsenal has a corner, the opponent will be like, I beg, they no go score now, no be normal thing, no be normal corner, they go play corner 50 times, they no score goal. Now Arsenal is playing corners and they are scoring, and people are busy looking for ways to just bring down the tactical approach of the game. See, in football, if there's any way you divide by winning, you do.
Yes.
If as far as you are under the rules of the game. I remember Jose Mourinho. They were like, he packed the bus. Today he's one of the best coaches that the world of football has ever produced. And he has been successful under that approach. What is wrong? The corners Arsenal have been scoring, are they outside the rules of the game? Why are people just very funny? People are just very funny. Had it been we played that game and we drew 0-0 with Man U, they will be making mad. They cannot see, they cannot win. The corner we use, is it hand we use in scoring the corner? It's not head. Is head and foot not part of the game?
It's part of the game.
So people are just very funny. You say Stoke City FC, corner FC. Oga, if na that corner we go use stay win league, I bet maybe win.
Okay.
So
Well said.
Tomorrow game, I'm rooting for my darling Arsenal FC to win. I know it's not going to be easy. That's never been easy with Fulham. That's never been easy. It's a derby, you know that. But then I think Arsenal have the Arsenal in them
to win
that game.
All right, thank you very much.
So my prediction for that game is Arsenal win 3-1.
All right, thank you.
And then Everton 1-1.
1-1.
Everton Liverpool. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. 0706. Yeah, that's how we say Arsenal will win 3-1.
Everton will play 1-1 draw.
Yeah, 0706 048 5853. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, guys.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
Emmanuel Shugudin from Enugu.
Okay, shoot.
No. So what is your problem? How can I say a total that Chelsea they marry for Premier League in will be Chelsea? How many times the Tottenham not be Chelsea for Premier League? Change the record in how many times Chelsea beat Tottenham in Premier League. You know, this match will be like a chaotic match. Are you know that Chelsea will come out victorious in that chaotic match?
Okay.
the thing I'll tell you that Chelsea will beat Tottenham and beat them again and again and again, home and away. Until the world finish.
Okay.
I'm telling you, the one match is going to be, this other match tomorrow is going to be a chaotic match. It's the same way it was the time of Williams was in Chelsea. Anytime they do anyhow, fight to start the pitch. You remember that time the time of Mourinho when the Pochettino was the top when the fight started to pitch. Remember that time?
Yes.
And that is how it's going to be this match.
Okay.
If Tottenham is not careful like this, just will run over them. I'll fought them more than like 6-0 or 7-0 most match.
7-0. Oh. Okay. Thank you very much. 7-0.
I was somewhere last year and they were telling me, now by this time Chelsea don't wake up. Now by this time we go beat Tottenham, waiting no good. When that match progressed and Chelsea were begging for a comeback, I felt like I looked at the person that was saying we go beat Chelsea, waiting no good. In the first half, I looked at him like, bro, now come back on the fight for. He said, leave that thing. I just say this. I said, now they get injury crisis.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, good morning. Name and location, please.
Ike Pansuka.
Okay, Ike. What is your contribution?
So Zukani, every time before Chelsea, because of Abramovich, yes, it happens in every club. Before any club should be known, something must happen to know the club. Something, even Real Madrid. No club can progress without something, knowing them something. So I ask about Chelsea when they run around injury. We'll go straight, but I know that what you are going to say that Chelsea will lose the match. Just they go around injury. Without injury, the time they beat Martin 4-0. See, I don't think Arsenal. I want to know Arsenal match is it today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, they don't do anything. That's a club. They set. They go create cup for setties. The only cup they win is setties cup.
Okay.
So Premier League, they don't do anything.
All right.
Anytime they meet a club where no get strong defenders, they will just they show that they go. Why don't they do them in Champions League? When they go play Chelsea, they may not do them now. When they meet a club where no get strong defense, they go just go 30. What kind of that? It's no club they go do that. Maybe a club will get a future.
Okay.
For Mario match, set to win for Mario match, set loss. Person will get money, go use do something, may go bet.
All right.
What happen just for that? And the match is the same thing. John, you cry nyamanyamo.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, 0706. Let's maybe take one more call, then we'll move out to Lookman because Lookman did a miracle yesterday. Hello, good morning.
I love that miracle. Thank you from Ebola.
Good morning. Okay.
Good morning, also. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Yes. Liverpool play Merseyside derby. We all know where that game is a one-side derby. Liverpool win that match.
Okay.
And for Man U, we also lose that match against Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
Right now we even score.
Okay.
For Man City will win today.
Okay.
Man City will win 3-1. And for my club Chelsea, I heard nonsense we played 4-4 with them the last time we played. Am I right? We did not play 4-4. We won them last season home and away.
Okay, I think the last 2 seasons they did that 4-4, right? Yes, last 2 seasons, yes.
It's only match we played 4-4 with last season. So that match tomorrow, we win them. That I know the fear myself. We will win them.
Okay.
Because Otman they up and down, and I know say na the wrong side of Tottenham will come tomorrow.
Okay.
And Fulham will also win us.
Fulham will Arsenal. Okay, nice prediction. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to the Serie A because Serie A games happened yesterday and Atalanta won that game against AC Milan 2 goals to 1. Okay, let's take one more call before we move over to that game. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Name and location, please.
It's AI from Enugu.
Okay, AI. What is your contribution, AI?
Diamond C and Dr. Palacio.
Yeah.
You know, the girl started 11 is very good. But if you look at that his back line, we already know he's going to the Valdio, Diaz, Akanji, and Walker. The power Walker is there. That's a reversal. So, Crystal Palace, once they score their chances, people will find it difficult to. I think Palace might get a win there.
Okay.
They might eventually get a result. Because if you look at that game against Nottingham, Forest missed chances. There was one that a mistake from De Bruyne and Chris Wood was, I don't know how he did that. He did not even hit the target. So City will eventually concede chances. It's just if you can take those chances. And if you come to Man U and Nottingham Forest, Amorim too. The only players that are constant in Amorim's 11 is Fernandez. That will start tomorrow. Today is going to be Fernandez, Amadiello, Rashford. These are the only people you can talk about.
Okay.
Other people, we might even see Casemiro start. You know, Amorim, he's been break and quench. So, I think Man United might win.
Okay.
But they might try and win. And considering what Pep and Mourinho are telling themselves, Mourinho is right. Pep wants it. But he's under 150 charges. Or 150. So he's just like a thief that has his knife in the car. Telling you he has his car. Pep is convinced. Pep is saying he's not guilty. He's disproving, but he's guilty. He wants justice, but he's under 150 charges. But Mourinho wants 3, but he's free, fair and clear.
Yeah.
All
right. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move over to the Serie A because Lookman scored in the 87th minute to give Atalanta a 2-1 win. That particular goal sent them top of the Serie A. They are the main challengers of the Serie A. If you look at that game, they scored first and Milan equalized through Morata. Then Lookman scored. It was a corner kick and he was at the back post. He nodded it in at the back post to make that game 2 goals to 1. They missed a couple of chances. Atlanta is a team that I don't understand that team, but they are doing very well. Probably they might even win this Serie A if the result goes their way. If even though Inter won,
if Napoli drops points,
then they stay first.
Lazio.
They stay first on the table. But what do you make of Lookman and his adventure in Atlanta?
You know, Inter has a game at hand. If they win their game at hand against Fiorentina, they get the results. The top.
Fiorentina is a tough game too. It's not like they're going to walk away with that win.
They were already playing Fiorentina half feed until the injury case happened to this guy's head. Now, if they go to that game and they win, it's a big if. But if they win, you know, when we talk about what's called conditional probabilities, if and only if they win that game, then it's going to be Inter Milan for the title. But for now, Napoli is on the title run, and they have a game. And I'm sorry, Napoli has a game against Lazio. Atlanta is on the title run, leading the line now. It was a good game last night. I said this yesterday before the show. I said AC Milan are this type of team that will come out and want to show because they want to come back into the top 4 conversation. They want to be in that. They want to dominate. They want to be like that. We are dominating. This is our time. Though we won the league last 2 years or last how many years ago, we always want to be there. And Napoli is not in what they call in history. Atlanta is not in comparison with AC Milan for no reason. But we called out the players that would shock Atlanta, and those players went on to do their bit. But Atlanta, on the other hand, we had the players that would go on to cause problems for AC Milan. Yeah. And those players as well went on to do us proud. Talk about Ademola, Lookman, talk about Charles.
We
talk about Charles. These are the 2 players for the Atlanta in so far this season that when they are lacking goals, when there's no hope of them scoring a goal, you see Charles deliver one wonderful goal. Or you see Ademola, Lookman run through defenses like as if they were catching a nap. You know, when you say you won't go thief fish for pot, everybody don't go sleep. Now for midnight, that's how Ademola, Lookman runs through defenses. Like everybody's already are off guard and he catches them off guard.
He had 2 good opportunities, just that it was
the goalkeeper was just lucky he didn't bury some of those chances. They kept AC Milan at bay from their final third. They kept AC Milan at bay. It felt like they just locked the midfield or perhaps the final third they just locked AC Milan out of the final third, except for that run from Rafael Leao in the 22 minutes that got them the goal and got them that what's it called now to come back into the game. AC Milan kept finding a way to break through the midfield, break through the defenses, but it was a problem. That's the same thing I keep saying. If you have a good defense and you have a good record from previous season, just work on it and you get a better result for the next season.
John Lookman, let's talk about Lookman. He's our boy and he's going to win the CAF award already. Nobody's going to touch it, but he is a superstar for Atlanta. If he leads Atlanta to this, that is going to become people. One can compare it with Osimhen led Napoli to that title. But if you look at Lookman, he's a good player. Come on, Arsenal should even be buying this player.
There are no knocks you can give.
They should buy it themselves, Martinelli. Buy Lookman.
If you talk like that, I feel agree small because build up play, get and counter attack, Sabi run. He go ahead, they lose, but they pass ball, give opponent for this thing. And if they go counter in the C post, they look grand. If they see post, if they see player where they run enter boss a team. So I think there are some passes he made to his teammates in the opposition's box.
Sure.
That is something Martinelli will never think of. Martinelli will take the shot either ways and will blow it.
John Lookman is going to be the star for the
future. No doubt. He's already, like, this is where me and also will disagree. I would say he's already a star. And so tell me he's a prospect.
No, star boy be nothing.
Okay,
I agree with you.
Finally agree.
No, but when a young man will potential, go talk him as he be.
No, but Lookman has done it. He's proven it last season, doing it again this season.
You're talking Leipzig, he do am. We no see a record. Everton, we do am. We no talk plenty about that. Everton, Leicester, he do am. We said it was with potential. He came back to the Serie and he's doing it again for Atalanta. He's no longer potential. He's already there. He did. Okay. If he didn't did, he didn't did. If he did, he did. This one now, I'm agree with everything John says. He did because I've seen it from Leipzig to the Premier League, now to the Serie. I've seen it in 3 different leagues.
Okay, that game they won that game 2-1, and the other game is Inter winning that year ago. Their own game against Parma 3-1. So if you look at the table now, Atlanta stay first. So if the result goes their way, that means if Napoli don't get results today, they stay top. Tomorrow they stay top.
Lose against Lazio,
they stay top of the league. So let's hope that will happen because that's why I said yesterday's show I want to support Lookman because he has more chances. And Chukwueze was introduced in the 90th minute of that game, so the coach didn't trust him.
It was too little, too late.
Fonseca just the tinker with that guy intelligence, and I know like with
let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Will happen in the Serie A. It's going to be a very, very tight title race in the Serie A. If you move out to La Liga, there are 2 games. The 2 big boys are playing today is Real Betis versus Barcelona by 4:15. Then Real Madrid is going to be going away to Girona by 9 p.m. Those 2 games are happening today. In the Nigerian NPFL, games are happening. All the games are happening tomorrow. So I'll give you the fixtures of them. Plateau United and Heartland are playing tomorrow. Enugu Rangers and Rivers United, Abia Warriors and Niger Tornadoes, Bayelsa United and Ikorodu City, Kano Pillars and Katsina United, Kwara United and Enyimba is postponed because Enyimba had other engagements. Remo Stars and El Kanemi Warriors and Akwa United and Bendel Insurance are playing. For good news for Enugu people, the Light Rangers game versus Rivers United is going to be free tickets for everybody. So
wow.
Yes, you can go to the stadium and just enter the stadium anytime you want. It's going to be a free ticket for everybody. So let's all go and support Rangers tomorrow. That game is by 4 p.m. Just dress up and just walk into that stadium and let's support because we are playing the league leaders. Currently leaders now. So it's going to be a big match. Rangers Nation needs all 3 points. If we win that game, then we are now having a shot of defending that title. So we need all the support we need. So Rangers management have decided to make the gates open the gates for us for fans. So just go there, support Rangers. It's free. It's a free ticket. So let's go there and support Rangers International. Okay, thank you for joining us on today's show. Tomorrow we go support Rangers in the Cathedral. On Monday we'll come back here to talk about those games in the EPL, in the NPFL, anywhere in the La Liga. Let's hope that Rangers International win their game tomorrow against Rivers United. My name is Godwin. I'll be seeing you on Monday. Have a lovely weekend.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome